Education series. And I have here with me in the studio Mr. CSU Anyao, and he will be answering some questions from investors. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll go straight into the questions. And the first one is by Lazarus Gogo Cookie. By Lazarus Gogo Cookie. And it's two questions. The first one is it true that the Nigerian Stock Exchange shares are non-available for investors to buy? Is it true that the Nigerian Stock Exchange shares are not available now available, pardon me, for investors to buy? If yes, why is it not included in the official list of shares tradable on the stock exchange? That question is from Lazarus Gogo Cookie.
Okay, Lazarus, thank you for sending in your question, and we encourage every other person listening to us to send in questions wherever, whatever problem you have investing. As far as stock is concerned, if it's even not stock, debt instrument, general investment, we'll be able to handle it for you. It's always a pleasure to know that you're listening to us each time we come to broadcast. Lazarus, thank you very much for sending in that question. Yes, if I must answer you directly, Nigerian Stock Exchange shares are now available for buying. If you want to buy, if you had dreamt of having a piece of that beautiful investment portfolio, time is now. And your next question is, why is it not included in the trading and daily official list of the stock exchange? Okay, that's a very fine question. It's available, but it is not yet listed. These are two different terminology I would like to explain to you. We use the word listed when it is included as one of the shares that the stock exchange is trading. Then you would say, where is it available if it is available? It's available in the segment of the market we call the NAST. If you have been listening to us, if you have been watching us, you discover that we also broadcast the NAST each day, before or after, but somehow we broadcast the Nigerian Stock Exchange, which is today called NGX, or we also broadcast the NAST. So whichever way. Now, this market is not the quoted stock, but in the actual sense is regulated, and everything that is on the stock exchange is there, only that it's not called listed. So NAST has a lot of good shares. If you listen to us broadcast, you hear some beautiful names. CSCS is there, Nigerian Stock Exchange shares, which is called NGS, is there, A Liquid is there, WAMCO, the pig milk company, is there. Just name it. Some very blue chip companies are there. So that is where the Nigerian Stock Exchange shares are presently. I think you may want to ask, why is it there? Why would they not come to be listed? They are in the process of being listed. They are yet at NAST, but they are working to be listed on their board, on the board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, on the main board in particular. I want to believe that before the year runs out, you will hear about them being listed, because they are working assiduously to get it listed there. Thank you very much, Mr. Lazarus. It's a beautiful thing to hear from you. Thank you.
All right. The next question is from Risikat Adejumo, and it goes, I have many outstanding dividend warrants from the estate of my late father. I heard that it is taken over by the government as unclaimed dividend. Is it true? Then if no, how do I recover them? That question is from Risikat Adejumo.
Risikat, thank you again for sending in that question. I think that question is quite good and intelligent question. You have dividend warrants, I want to believe, and they are in paper form. They are from the estate of your late father, and you heard that it had been taken over by the government. And then, if it is true, have you lost it? If it is not true, how can you get it? Now, the first truth is, if you must deal on the estate of the dead, you must present his will. In the absence of will, you must do a letter of administration. The surviving heirs of the dead man must lay claim to the estate of the dead man by doing what is called letter of administration. And you will ask, how do I do that? Go to talk to any lawyer. Any good lawyer will do it for you. It is preferred that you do that letter of administration in the town where he lived and died. When you have the letter of administration, You will appoint yourself and your other siblings, or if your mother is there, as administrators of your late father's estate. What will simply happen is that from then, when the letter of administration is raised and lodged to the registrars, your signatures will replace your father's signature. You will now give order to the registrar, to the stockbroker, to do what your father would have loved to do if he were alive. That's what it means to be the administrator of the estate of a dead man, in this case, your father. So what you need to do is talk to a lawyer. A lawyer will do a letter of administration. When that letter of administration is done, talk to your stockbroker. If you don't have one, talk to dependable stockbrokers, talk to any stockbroker you like, and we'll be able to package it for you in what we call transmission. We will transmit the shares that belongs to your father to you people as administrators. And henceforth, you can place your order. Not until then, you cannot do anything with those dividend warrants, because nobody will honor you. If you go to the registrar will demand for letter of administration. But if you now have it, you will now give an order. When you do that, you are supposed to open what we call estate account. That estate account should receive these warrants. Now, for your information, paper warrants are clawed, if you permit my expression. Paper warrants are no longer allowed. What you are going to get is an e-dividend form where they will now transfer, deposit all the proceeds before and now into the estate account, from where you can give order. Now, I also want to believe from the language of your writing that he has shares. That's why he has warrants. If he has shares, and I suspect he has shares, because you don't have warrants if you don't have shares. It means also that you are going to mention those shares in the letter of administration, so that the shares will be picked up. It's important to do that. If you don't mention it, you may have to do it again and again. Secondly, if there are properties that the man has, it may be well to also name those properties. Every asset that is of value, name them there. Name them there so that you will not need to do an addendum to the letter of administration when you do. So open up to the lawyer, he will do it for you. Number two is the warrants, the dividend warrants you have are not taking over. I want to assume that they are not status barred. If they are status barred, if they have not been claimed for 13 years now. For 13 years, if nobody claims them, they become status barred. That's when. I want to believe they are not. If they are, even if they are status barred, that doesn't mean you have lost them. Only that it takes a longer process, a much more tedious process to recover them from the registrar. And that's that it is. So your dividend warrants, first the registrar, but before you go to the registrar, get a letter of administration. Go there, do a transmission. First your stockbroker to realize all of them for you. I think I have answered your question. I believe I have. If otherwise, do another letter and we will also answer it. Thank you very much.
All right, the next question is from Mrs. Onyinye Okeke, and it goes, how do I recover? It says, I want to invest for my son who is 11 years old. What kind of investment would you recommend?
Okay, number one, 11 years old son is a minor, and minors don't enter contracts. They cannot enter into a contract that is valid. Therefore, you have to stand behind him by opening the account in his name, but you may have to sign for him. You will then stand behind him till he becomes a major. Whichever investment you want to do will require this. But which investment do I recommend? I will, without hesitation, recommend shares. There are shares that we consider growth shares. These shares will grow with the young man. He will grow to receive the value up, and a couple of them are there. The major advantage is that the unit price now is small, but the potential to increase in price is high, and there are stocks that will do very well. And we have a couple of them. The Fidelities of this world, as a bank, belong to that category. Shares that have low unit price now, but have potentials to go high, are considered growth stock. So shares number one, growth stocks number two. And that's my answer for you for that. Thank you, Mrs. Onyinye.
All right. Remember, you can send in your questions as well. You can drop them on our Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/prostituteradio.ng. Also via our WhatsApp line. It's 00979100074. You can send in your questions, and during the Investors Education Series, our in-house experts will provide answers to your questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, that wraps up the Investors Education Series for today. Remember to join us at 4 p.m. for the Nigerian Stock Market Callover, as well as the National Association of Securities Dealers NASD report. Have an amazing Wednesday evening and stay blessed. Thank you.